All right, so I have 8 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for taking the time out to join us for the Soccer State Tournament Pre-Competition webinar. For those of you that don't know, my name is Melissa Anger. I'm Regional Sports Director with Special Olympics Maryland and the new soccer sports lead. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Just a review, I have Steve Bennett here as my moderator, and he is going to be watching for hands. If you have any questions, for raised hands, and answering any questions that you type in. So if you have a question about anything during the webinar, go ahead and either raise your hand or type a question, and Steve will be there to answer you the best he can. All right, so tonight we're just going to talk about some of the entries, the schedule, venue, some rule reminders, attire/uniform reminders, a rain plan, and then some miscellaneous items that we got going on. Now this is for the state tournament, which is not for another 2 weeks, but we're going to do it now just because next week's a little crazy. The next 2 weeks, I should say, are a little crazy for us here at Special Olympics, so we want to get this in. I know we still have another qualifier this weekend, 2 qualifiers, sorry, but we want to go ahead and get this in now. Okay, so the events that we have this year for the 7v7 adult teams, we have 14 traditional teams and 8 unified teams. If I remember correctly, we are up 1 traditional team, which is awesome. We have grown. For the 5v5 teams, we have 1 lonely traditional team and 6 unified teams. That ranges from elementary, middle, and high school teams that are all 5v5. Okay. This year we have 3 player development teams, 7v7 player development, which is awesome. That's also grown. So that is the way I like to see it, like to grow the sport. And we have 35 registered individual skills competitors, which is a good number, I think, for soccer. Just to go over the schedule a little bit, 7:30 is the volunteer registration. 8 a.m. is going to be the delegation registration, which is going to be at the tent outside on the opposite side of the lunch tent, which I will show on the map in a little bit. At 8:30, we will have a coaches meeting, just a quick coaches meeting, get things set for the day, ready to go. At 9 a.m., we're going to have opening ceremonies. The officials will meet at 9:40, and then at 10 a.m., we're going to start the games. With the 7v7 adult qualifier being canceled last weekend because of the weather, there is a possibility of having some mini divisioning games at the beginning of the day. Just to be aware, we might ask you to play in one of these mini games. So please, please, please make sure everyone is there by 10. I will send out a schedule no later than Thursday night. So again, please do not email me asking for a schedule before Thursday. If you don't get it by Thursday night, then email me all you want. But before that, please do not email me asking me for a schedule. It will come out when it is done. Okay? Tuesday night, the week of the competition, so Tuesday, October 24th, I've invited a select few coaches to come in, and they're going to help me with divisioning. Okay? Some coaches that have been around for a long time, they've seen a lot of the games, and that they are going to come in and help me with the divisions and figure out if we need these playing games and who we need in the playing games. Okay? All right, so the venue, it's all pretty much the same as last year. The control center tent is also the lunch tent. It's going to be split in half. The one side probably is going to be the same as last year. So the one side facing the trees away from the building is going to be the control center. The other side closer to the building that's opened up towards the building is going to be the lunch tent. But look and see the day of. We'll just wait and see which one we do, but that's how it was last year, and I'm guessing that's how it's going to stay again this year. Okay, so there's 2 changes for this year. We have added a young athletes program, which is for individuals ages 2 to 6 or 7. They'll come out and get to do work on gross motor skills, go through a couple of different little drills and stations, really just to have fun. Mackenzie Irvin, who is on staff, has done an amazing job at growing the young athletes program since she's been here. She came in January. So she has done an amazing job with this young athletes program. So we wanted to have it down here at soccer, and we think it's going to be great. So in between games, if you want to go over and just see it, we encourage you to go over, see what's happening. They'll start around 10:30-ish, probably between 10 and 10:30-ish. So in between games, before your game, after your game, go over, say hi to Mackenzie, and take a look at what the Young Athletes program is. The other change is this year we will not be having awards on the field, okay? It holds up the game, makes it a little difficult. Parents can't really hear. So what we're going to do is hold the awards on the opening ceremony stage, okay? So when it's time for a team to get their awards, you will head over to the opening ceremony stage and go on the inside of the stage, so not on the field, on the other side of the stage. And athletes will walk up the steps, go onto the stage, and get their awards from there. A little more grand. They will be up a couple feet from the ground, which is pretty cool, with the soccer playing in the background. We thought this would be a great change, way to highlight the athletes a little bit more than having it on the field. And we can get the games kind of moving along too.
This is Steve. Just to, for those of you who have individual skills competition, those awards for the individual skills competition will remain inside as they were last year.
Thank you. They will have their awards platform just like last year for the individual skills. So they will stay inside. The outside awards are just going to be for the team play. Both 5v5 and 7v7 will get their awards outside. Okay, same as last year. Again, it's just kind of a close-up. Same as last year, we're having 4 7v7 fields, which is the white, orange, pink, and yellow fields. And then the 5v5 and 7v7 player development will be on the purple and blue fields. Okay, so they're a little bit smaller. This is not to scale. The blue and purple fields are not that much smaller than what it looks like on here. But just a heads up, this is how it's going to be laid out again this year, same as last year. Okay. Inside, this is an inside view of the Crown Sports Center. So the main entrance is the opposite side of the building from where we are. That's where the restrooms are, but we please encourage everyone to use the outdoor restrooms, porta pots. They are going to be brand new from, well, I'm sorry, not brand new. They're going to be cleaned and newly cleaned for us and only used for us. So please use the porta potties outside if you are outside. If you are a skills athlete or family member, you can use the ones inside, but please, everyone else, stay outside, use them outside, okay? This is more for Crown. The porta pots that we are renting, if I remember correctly, 8 porta potties that we will place around the fields. Please use the porta potties outside, okay? Individual skills will be on the far end, close to the 2 indoor fields closest to the doors to lead outside. Steve Bennett, again, will be running the skills for us. So he will have a coaches meeting right after opening ceremonies. So coaches for skills, please head inside right after opening ceremonies and meet with Steve.
We have a quick question. I think I know the answer, but I want to confirm. The question was, will all the awards be handed out throughout the day as soon as we know the result of the teams and not wait till the end of the day for all teams? So the answer to that, which I'll send out, is that all of the awards will be given as the teams as their final place is determined. So we'll bring up teams as their final place is determined. So we will not wait till the end of the day to do all awards for the teams.
Thank you, Steve. Just want to go over this real fast. The principle of meaningful involvement. I'm not going to read through all of this, but everyone knows what meaningful involvement is. It's not just for Unified, it is for traditional, all team sports. The meaning of meaningful involvement is that all players, athletes and partners, have a meaningful experience in each game. Okay, everyone gets a chance to play at the ball. Everyone gets a chance, whether it's offense or defense, to have that opportunity to play on the ball. They're not on the field as the token player, so that they're just standing there. Okay, even if it's a close game, please make sure everyone has a meaningful role on the team, and that is not meaning a cheerleader on the side, but on the field as well. Okay, I'm not saying everyone has to score, because we know that's not feasible, but everyone has to have that play at the ball. Okay? If we see this, the first violation of the day, and this is for the entire day, first violation, coach will be given a verbal warning. Second violation, and this goes for officials can make this call as well, not just me or my team, but the officials can make this call as well. Okay? The second violation, the coach will be shown a yellow card. The third violation, the offending coach will be shown a second yellow card and then a red card. The player will be shown a yellow card. Fourth violation, the offending player will be shown a second yellow card and then a red card. And myself and my staff will determine if the game should be a forfeit or not. Up to the seventh violation of the day, that team will be removed from the tournament. I don't care if it's your first game, you will be removed and you will not be able to play the rest of the game. Okay? We want the athletes to come down here and have fun. This is for them to have fun. We want to have a competitive competition, and we want everyone to have the chance to play. Just a couple of PDU reminders. When I was at the PDU required qualifiers, I think the coaches and mentors did a great job. This is, in theory, a transition from individual skills into team play. So it's really 5-on-5 with two coaches on the field. The mentors, this is a big one. The mentors / Unified partners are coaches on the field. Okay? I think I gave all the coaches the little card that I made and laminated for you all. One side is all the cans of what they can do, and the other side is everything that they cannot do as a mentor on the field. Okay, they are there as coaches on the field. You can only have 5 athletes. You are not allowed to have more than 5 athletes, and the 2 mentors must be on the roster. That is a big thing. If they are not on the roster, then your team is not getting a medal. You will get a participation ribbon, and you might not be able to play. So you might be coming all the way to Salisbury. Only those on the rosters that were turned in are allowed to play. Coaches, if you are listed as a coach, you are not allowed to go in as a mentor. Okay? Only those listed as unified partners can play in the game. The goalie for the team must be a Special Olympics athlete. So one of the mentors cannot be the goalie. The mentors really can give verbal and visual instruction, give physical direction. They can receive the ball as it comes to them naturally, but they cannot go after it. No defense at all. Okay? They cannot play any kind of defense, whether it's on a mentor or an athlete. They can keep a ball in play if it's going out of bounds as long as no one else is around. And they can escort an athlete to bring the ball down, but the athlete must be dribbling the ball. Those are things that they can do. I'm not going to read through all the things that they can't. Big things, they can't score, they can't play defense. They're really just there as coaches on the field.
Melissa, this is Mike.
Yep.
Just a clarification, because this came up as a point of confusion at one of the qualifiers I was at. The comment there that the goalie must be a Special Olympics athlete, that applies only to Player Development Unified. That does not have anything to do with Unified. The goalie can be an athlete or a partner. There were some folks who had seen that and were confused. So just to clarify, as it states there, it's a PDU highlight that the goalie required to be an athlete is only for PDU.
Yes, thank you. So for unified teams, for 7v7 and 5v5 unified teams, the goalie can be a partner. Okay, that just depends on the coach and how they assign their teams. So thank you for that, Mike. All right, I'm not going to read through all these. These are just some of the uniform requirements. All players must be wearing shin guards. Socks, high socks must be worn on the outside of the shin guards. Okay, you cannot put the shin guards on the outside of the sock. The shin guards must be against your leg. Well, I'm sorry, on the inside, and there must be a pair of socks, long socks, on the outside of the shin guards covering the entire shin guard. Okay, that held up the qualifier, I think it was 2 weeks ago. So please make sure before the game starts that all shin guards are covered up with socks. Okay, all undergarments, whether it's a t-shirt, compression pants, compression shirts, socks, everything must match. Okay, they should be of like color among the entire team. So you can't have one teammate wearing black socks and shirts and another one wearing white. Okay, everything must be the same color of the entire team. If you all want to wear yellow, everyone wears yellow. But if someone's wearing a different color, they either have to take off that shirt and either not wear a shirt underneath their uniform, or they have to get a yellow shirt to match everyone else's. Like I said, I'm not going through all these. Another thing that I wanted to go over was the cleats. All cleats must be rubber cleats. They cannot be the metal spikes. If they're metal, they will not be allowed to wear them. Athletes and partners are allowed to wear tennis shoes. That is okay. But they must wear, if they're going to wear cleats, they have to be rubber. It is really at the discretion of the officials if they allow specific cleats. I know it's more of a safety issue. I know some cleats have the toe cleat. Some officials might allow it, some officials might not. And it's really at the discretion of the official. And I got that straight from Bob Wiles, who is our head official, working in conjunction with Tom Bailey. So cleats have to be rubber. And if an official tells you you can't wear them, you got to take them off. Okay? Make sure everyone has a pair of tennis shoes that they can wear just in case. Also, if for the 5v5 athletes and the 7v7 Player Development Unified athletes must have a second pair of shoes that are not cleats to wear inside just in case with the weather they cannot wear cleats inside on the turf. So if we move their games in because of weather, you must have a pair of tennis shoes or you will not be, that athlete and partner will not be allowed to play. Okay, just making that very clear right now. It has been said. So please make sure the athletes and partners of 5v5 and 7v7 player development both have, if they wear cleats, and another pair of tennis shoes to wear inside if we move games inside due to weather. Okay. The last thing I'm going to talk about with the uniforms is that the goalie has to be in a different color that distinguishes them from other players and the referee on the field. If they do not, then that can result in a team forfeiting. Okay, they have to be in a somewhat different color than both teams and the official. Just some more reminders, rosters were submitted back in September, mid-September, and they cannot be changed. I've sent out confirmation emails. I've sent out rosters. Everyone has confirmed. Nothing can change. Players cannot go on different teams. They must stay on the team that they are that they were signed up for. I will be submitting rosters to coaches at the coaches meeting in their delegation packet, their team packet, that has a roster form in there. The only thing you will need to fill out is the jersey number, and then you will turn that into the scores table before your game. No one is to be added on the bottom of that paper. And I'm going to tell all the scorekeepers, all the field managers, field directors, everyone, no one is to be added onto the bottom unless I go to them personally and tell them that it is okay. Please do not try to add someone to the bottom of the roster. Okay, this late, I've sent multiple notifications. I've got many confirmations saying about the rosters. Coaches, if their coach is not on that roster, sorry, you would like to add anyone now. I sent out, like I said, I sent out multiple emails, multiple rosters, asked for assistant coaches, asked for any updates to the rosters. It's too late to add anyone right now. So if they're not on the roster, then they're not on the roster and they can't be on the bench. So 77, as I said, must have 2 mentors on the field at a time and 5 athletes. They cannot have 6 and 1. They cannot have 3 and 4. It has to be 5 and 2. 77 must start with 7 players on the field. Cannot reduce to fewer than 5. So you can play 5 on 7 if there's injuries, but you must start each game with 7 players on the field. Same with the unified. You cannot have more than 4 athletes on the field at a time. So you can't have 2 partners and 5 athletes. It has to be 3 and 4. If you lose one of the partners, then you go 4 and 2. But you cannot have more than 4 athletes on the field at a time. And you must start with 3 partners and 4 athletes on the field to start a game. 5 on 5 must start with 5 players and cannot reduce to more than 4 players on the field. So if you start the game with 5 and you only have 5 for the day and 2 get hurt, your team is forfeiting. They're done. You cannot go fewer than 4. It's more of a safety issue than anything. Okay, so just some things I've seen over the season I wanted to kind of go over. 7v7 teams. You can kick it in or throw it in from the sideline. So if the ball goes out of the sideline, you can either throw it or kick it in. That is up to you, however you can coach in your team. They will play 2 20-minute halves. I can change it as a competition director if needed. If we start getting behind, it might change it a little bit. But we will be playing 2 20-minute halves for 7v7 games with a 5-minute halftime and a 5-minute overtime if needed. Okay? 7v7 player development and 5v5 teams must kick it in from the sideline. Okay? They cannot throw it in from the sideline. Must be a kick in. And you'll be playing 2 15-minute halves. And again, if time constraints or some issues happen, then I can change it to a little bit less, but you will be playing, as of right now, 2 15-minute halves with a 5-minute halftime and a 5-minute overtime if needed. All right, for both teams, for all levels of play, a ball must be kicked forward from the center spot before being touched by another player. So you must be forward rolled over the midfield line before it can be touched by another player. Special Olympics rules in the rule books that have been sent out multiple times. Okay. Slide tackles are not permitted at any level. If there's a slide tackle, there will be cards, yellow cards, and possibly red cards pulled. Okay? No slide tackles. It is a safety issue. Make sure your players know this. There are no team timeouts. So coaches, you don't have any timeouts. Okay? If you want to talk to your players, sub them out. But there are no timeouts. You get halftime and you can sub. That's it. The officials will keep the game clock, okay, on the field, not the scores table. The scores table will have a stopwatch, but that is more of an estimate, not the actual official time. The referee on the field will keep the official game time. So you can ask the scores table, but they will only give you an estimate of how much time is left. Goalies may not punt the ball. So when they get the ball, when the goalies make a stop or anything like that, they must throw the ball. And when they throw it from the goal box, it must touch the ground or another player before going past the midfield line. So if they throw it past midfield, it doesn't touch anyone, and it lands on the opposite side, then they lose the possession. Inclement weather, we will play in rain. Okay? We might move the 5v5 or the 7v7 player development inside, but we will, with the skills athletes, we will play in rain. The only time we will stop play is if there's a thunderstorm or any kind of thunder or lightning. That is the only time we will move them in. All right, so Coach's Code of Conduct, this is just a brief version of it. I will be sending out the full Coach's Code of Conduct with the slides tomorrow, but I just want to go over a couple things. This was accepted by the sports committee earlier this year, last month, I believe. So a couple things: respect for all, the big one. Please have respect for other coaches, other players, officials, volunteers, everyone. Ensure a positive experience for all. We want to make sure everyone that attends our events has a positive experience. Act professionally. I shouldn't have to say this one, but this is a big one. No excessive yelling, whether it's at a player, at another coach, at the official. No excessive yelling. Okay? Respect the officials. You may not agree with all their calls, and that's fine, but you will respect them. Their call is final. There will be no arguing with the officials at all. You will get one warning, and after that, you will be asked to leave. Okay? I'm not tolerating yelling at officials. They're here as volunteers. That is it. So if you don't like their call, sorry. If the athletes and partners see you yelling at the officials, they're going to think that's okay. They're going to act just like you act. So if you act in a professional manner, they will too. Okay? Officials are going to miss calls. It happens. That's okay. Keep playing with the game. They're doing the best they can. We have great officials. Okay? Please respect them. There will be no profanity whatsoever. If we hear something, you will get a warning. Second time, you will be asked to leave. And that's not just leaving the game. You will be asked to leave the facility and not allowed to go to your second game if you have another one. There is to be no alcohol, tobacco of any kind, vape. Vaping is a big thing now. That is also not allowed. And no drug use at all during the event. None of this is allowed on Crown facility. You have to go off of their property and across the street, like completely away from our event if you're going to do any of this. Quality service, and I'm sorry this is a typo, health and safety of all athletes and unified partners. Sorry, typing up. We want to ensure the health and safety of all of our athletes and partners. So please work with your team to make sure there's no dirty play, make sure everyone is playing to their strongest ability, but also safe and sportsmanlike.
Just want to update everyone. We have 2 questions that have come in. One was in questions in regards to the goalie and throwing the ball. Can they also set the ball down and then kick it and pass it?
Hi, this is Mike. Yes, definitely the case. They can do that. The reference to throwing the ball past midfield, that only applies if they choose to throw the ball. They definitely can put it on the ground and kick it.
Gotcha. Thank you, Mike. And then another question came in regards to the uniforms. If it's raining, will you allow wet weather gear under the jerseys that do not necessarily match? We will take that into consideration. Obviously, we'd like them to match, but we know that that's a little bit strain on budgetary and everything else. So we'll take that on a case-by-case, but most likely we'll allow that to happen. The other question that came in, I know we addressed the players and numbers of the mixtures for 7v7 unified. For 5v5 unified, it is 3 athletes and 2 partners on the field. So hopefully everyone already knows that, but again, just to clarify, for 5v5 unified, it is 3 athletes and 2 partners.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. All right. Oh, that's it. Okay, so that's all the slides I have. Are there any other questions? If people want to raise their hands or type a question, now is the time to do it. So are there any questions? If you have a question, oh, Lisa. All right, Lisa, go ahead. Lisa, you have a question?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was spacing out. Yeah, I had a question about the overtime. It says 5 minutes. You go to the end of the 5-minute time period, and that is where you end it, or is it when the first team scores?
You will go to the 5 minutes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. Okay, thank you.
The whole 5 minutes.
All right, great, thanks.
No problem. Any other questions? Okay. Oh. No. All right. So it looks like there's no other questions. If you think of something later on, please feel free to email me, and I will answer any of your questions. I will get these slides and the Coach's Code of Conduct and the recording out to you guys tomorrow sometime. And for those that are playing in the Howard County League or the 5v5 required qualifier this weekend, I will see you there. Everyone have a good night.
Actually, if you could hold for just a second, Mike Clam typed in a question.